Board Game Breakfast. It's my favorite show of the week. This is a show in which we talk about board games and the people who play them. I am joined by a host of fantastic contributors, and we're ready to go. In 2 weeks, one of the biggest game shows of the year, the Essen, or the Spiel Fair in Essen, Germany, is happening. And we're going to be there, not this week, but the following week. So you're going to see some Essen coverage of things that are going on this week. We're doing all kinds of different things. There's all sorts of videos and reviews coming your way. And also, I want to mention Dice Tower East registration is live. Hey, you can go and come to our fantastic convention we're having this summer. But let's get started with this show, and we start with it now. All right, so what did I find on the internet this week? First of all, this was a really cool thing. I found on rand.org. There's a war game there where they put teenage girls in command. So this is like just a cool thing I would never have seen 20 years ago, where a bunch of girls came in and they were like saying, this is what it's like. It was like a mega game of sorts as they come in and make decisions on what to do with various countries. A really cool article. I recommend reading it. On Reddit, I found someone who printed some 3D snap-on bases for Tapestry, for the buildings in Tapestry. This is fantastic. They'll fit perfectly on the grid on the board. This was one of the complaints I had about the components of Tapestry, so I'm excited to get these and put them on my buildings. Really cool video here on YouTube, which visualizes card shuffles. So if you want to see what happens when you shuffle a card, and it shows it how it mixes up the cards. Maybe it's just something for nerds like me, but I was really impressed with this video. A couple Ask Me Anythings on Reddit this week. There was one with the heads of development from Pandasaurus and also the designers of Godspeed. And then there was also another one from the Prospero Hall design team, the folks who are now doing the Funkoverse game for the Funko Pops. There's, continue on to question and answer things. We have a question and answer video from SHUX. With Matt from SHUX and Shut Me Sit Down and Isaac Childress. This was the video in which he announced a new version of Gloomhaven, but there's still a lot of Q&A in there with him. Jamie Stegmeyer did a video, 10 modern games that elevate the best parts of classic games. So if you like a classic game and you like this part of Monopoly, for example, what modern game does a good job of that? And then in nice news here, Mattel is releasing a Braille version of Uno. That's a pretty cool concept. You know, I often think about making a game for those who are visually impaired, a board game. Uno seems like a game that would be easier to do than most. So that's what I found on the internet this week. If you have something you'd like me to spotlight, send it to me at tom@dicetower.com, and maybe you'll see it show up here next week.
Randy and Ellen, we game together.
It's your turn.
Ooh.
Hi guys, I am Randy.
I'm Ellen, where we game together. And today's game is the Grand Masquerade.
You're adopting my salutation.
That? I just saw you doing it and I was like, the Grand Masquerade.
Grand Masquerade?
Yeah.
No, Grim Masquerade.
Shoot.
Jeez. I told you like 5 times.
I don't know. Okay, we really like it. The first game we played was 2-player. I thought it was okay. I thought it played fine at 2. It wasn't anything I was blown
it's like
away by.
It's a deduction game. Like not like a social deduction, but a straight up.
Yeah.
You're playing different things so that you reveal information about someone and figure out if they are a character or not a character.
Yeah.
And by process of elimination, they have to be one of 8 characters. Yeah. In a 2-player game, you get 2 people.
Yep.
And it actually, I think, works pretty well.
It works. I'm going to say it works.
For a deduction game, at 2 players, it works quite well.
Sure. I just didn't think it was like super fun. Then we had a game night. I'm sorry. And we had, 5 people?
Yes.
And that was really fun.
Yeah, that one,
really
it definitely plays a lot better there. And we played with everything except for the, the wager cards.
Yes.
So with the extra couple of components that come with the game, definitely made it a little bit better. Do want to try it with the wager cards. I think that'll be a nice little step up too.
Yeah. Why didn't we have those in there before?
Because it was our first game playing with everybody.
Oh. That's lame. Anyways, the artwork, I don't need to say anything. Just look at it. You'll know how I feel.
Yeah, the art's very nice.
It's very pretty, and it's very satisfying to look at. And it's got roses in it. That's my middle name, so it's special.
Helen Rose Kirby. I never would have thought.
Well, anyways, it's fun.
It's good. It's a good deduction game. It's quick. It's straightforward.
I do like the rules in the middle that you can spend. If you have like a pair of something, you can spend 2 cards to do one of 3 abilities. You can like point your finger at someone and,
Right. Everybody
call them
has a
out.
bane and a boon. So once you get 2 of any object, that reveals something about yourself, whether you're not a character or not. If you get 3 of something and you don't automatically win, then you also reveal that you're not the person that could win with those 3 identical symbols.
Kind of clever, actually.
Yeah, it works really well. I think it's a good, solid deduction game.
Yeah. So there you go.
There I go.
And it's pretty, too.
It's pretty. I'll see you.
Bye.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
My name is Dave Luzar.
I'm Ilka, and these are the essentials. Nicely. So early in the morning here in Germany, Dave is sick. Bear with us.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about some smaller games that will be great to find at Essen 2019. First up, Ilka.
I'm first up, and my first pick is Bee Lives, with the subtitle "We Will Only Know Summer." You help to get your wild beehive through the winter, which I didn't know they could. A somewhat heavier game for me. Cool. It might be too much for me.
Well, don't go off the rating on Board Game Geek at 3.5. I don't know. Could be anything.
Looks amazing. I want to check it out.
So, my first pick is Paris, la cité de la lumière.
Oh, chérie.
Paris, the city of light. It looks like fun, an area control game. I really like the artwork on the box. And going from the pictures on Board Game Geek, you are playing inside the box, walking around, doing some area control. I'm not sure if it's going to be fun, but I'm sure that I want to look at it. So
Cool.
That's my first pick.
Cool. My number 2 is, and there's a theme here. Yes, we're saving all the animals. Fish and Flips. You save marine bycatch from nets.
Oh.
It's a pattern building game. Lots of drawings of marine animals. It looks really cool.
Wow, that's nice. And there are loads of choices of getting games that are good for the environment.
Yeah, nature games, eco-friendly or eco games. Yes.
Okay, well, it's cool. My next game has got something to do with animals as well, because it's one of my favorite games. If you have kids, if you don't have kids, play Beastie Bar. There's going to be another expansion out in Essen, and I'm very excited about it. This will make the 3rd box. You can play every box as a standalone game, but you can also mix them up and just have fun with it. 12 new cards for each player, 12 new animals that are so fun drawn. They really have a character. I want to play that game right now. Beastie Bar. That's my second game. It's not a lot, but we want to give you just a tease of the games.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
And please let us know your secret tips, and we want to check them
Yeah,
out.
especially for those smaller games where everyone wants to play. What's that new Alexander Pfister game?
Maracaibo.
Maracaibo. Everyone has that on their list. We want to know about the smaller games. My name is Dave Luzar.
I'm Ilka.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
So what are we going to see from the Dice Tower this week? Well, I'm going to be reviewing several games. Skull Hollow, the 2-player asymmetrical game. Homebrewers, Freshwater Fly, the new Dice Masters Trouble in Waterdeep. Jetpack Joyride, Bloomtown. This is also like I said, our Essen coverage week. We're going to be doing 2 top 10 lists this week. We're going to be doing our top 10 anticipated games from Essen that we've already played. Then we're going to do our top 10 anticipated games from Essen that we haven't played yet. Then we're going to I'm going to be doing some Essen coverage. I'm going to be doing my top 10 interesting themes coming out of Essen and top 10 play tests of games coming out at Essen. We're not just doing that though. There's other things, and you'll see the different games and stuff being played on our channel over the course of the week. It's going to be exciting. Podcast from me and Eric and Becca Scott coming out tomorrow. She joined us for that, so that's an exciting one. We talk about our top 10 games. So start with the letter I, and somebody cheated on their list. You'll see all that, and you can find out all our other great podcasts on DicetowerNetwork.com.
everybody. I'm Doug Jr. And that's Doug the Third. We're from Doug and Doug Gaming, and you're watching A Fellowship of Meeples. Well, today we're going to continue our countdown to Halloween with our number 2 spooky game, Mysterium, by Levelud Games. And this game was designed by Alexander Nevsky and Oleg Sindarenko. And there's also a lot of artists that were involved with this, and I'm just going to put them up on the screen because they played a major part in the production of this game. Well, Doug the Third here is illustrating that in this game, one player takes on the role of a ghost who is trying to communicate with a group of mediums who, where, and with what he was murdered. The ghost isn't allowed to talk, so he hands each of the players cards containing some outstanding artwork. Now, these represent visions that contain clues about his murder. Each player tries to guess what the ghost is telling them so they can advance to the next level and get clues about the next item. The artwork on the cards must be interpreted by the players. An item, color, or pattern could be a clue. For instance, maybe the ghost is trying to communicate that this gardener here was the murderer. He might play this card because it contains flowers. Or maybe he'd play this one hoping the green color would point to the gardener's shirt. You indicate your guess by placing your intuition token on your choice. Other players can place clairvoyance tokens on your card, betting whether or not your guess is right or wrong. This can help them get more clues later in the game. There's much more to this game, but that's the basic idea. Now, this game can accommodate up to 7 players, so it's really great for game night.
What you doing? Where'd everybody go?
Alrighty, what are we adding to the library this week? Well, we're putting in time stories, which obviously is a game that should be in the library, but I wanted to have the different cases in different boxes so people can check them out and play them. For our kids' library, we have Super Vampires, which is a great game. Then, from Ultra Pro, we're adding in Shards of Infinity, and in different boxes. I have Ascension in one big box, but if you just want to play a set or two, you can play Deliverance, Delirium, the original Ascension game, or Dreamscape. Those are 4 really good solid versions of Ascension. We're also putting in the expansion for Wingspan, Magic Maze, which is a fantastic game, Quantum, a game a lot of people don't know about, but it's quite good, Modern Art, this is the Command version, GIF, as I build up my abstract strategy section, and then for our kids part of the library, we have Top That, a great little game. We're also putting in Judge Dredd Helter Skelter. We're adding in Via Nebula from Martin Wallace. Ragusa, I wasn't a huge fan of this, but I know a lot of people will like it. Same thing with Homesteaders and its expansion are both going in the library. Then we have the War with the Evil Power Master, Carousel, and Portal, both of those from Meepo Games. Fantastic Factories, a great game. And then Roads and Boats, this game is humongous, and a gazillion pieces inside. That's what we're adding to the library this week. You want to play these games? You can sign up for Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower West, Dice Tower East. It's going to be at all of them.
What's up, everyone? My name is Melissa McCack, and this is Smashing Buttons and Slamming Cards. This is a segment where I talk about a video game I love and I connect it to a board game I love. And this week, I want to talk about League of Legends for the PC. League is a MOBA-style game, which stands for Massive Online Battle Arena. And in that game, it is a team versus team style where on your team you have your own special role, right? And you pick a character with their own special abilities and you play out that role. And ultimately, what you are trying to do is destroy objectives, right? And you're trying to advance into enemy's territory and destroy what is called their nexus. Whoever does that wins the game. Now, the board game I would like to connect this to, and I've thought about this for a long while, because the easy choice would have been Mechs vs. Minions, which takes place in the same IP, made by the same publishers of League, and it takes place in the universe, right, where you find the same sort of characters that you'll find in League of Legends. But my heart was saying I had to go with Captain Sonar. Captain Sonar is also a team-based game where it's sort of like Battleship, but to the umpteenth level. And in Captain Sonar, again, you're playing your own special role with their own sort of abilities, and you're trying to outmaneuver the other team. It comes with a lot of intensity, just like League of Legends does, because it's all fast-paced if you're playing with the real-time mode, and I've had such success when playing with players who also play League of Legends. They seem to really like this game, and I personally always have a blast with this one. So anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.
Howdy folks, welcome to By the Numbers. My name is Hunter Thomason from the Family Showdown. This week we're continuing my Through the Years series where I'm looking at the top game on Board Game Geek by year, starting with 1970. This week, 1982. Taking a look at the top 5, we see the number 1 game from 1982 is Survive. It only took 12 long years, but finally it has happened. A game I actually own. I have the 30th anniversary edition of Survive, Escape from Atlantis. In Survive, you're trying to escape the island of Atlantis, trying to get to the edge of the board before the island sinks, before you're getting eaten by sharks and sea monsters and whales and all sorts of craziness. Taking a look at the ratings, over 17,000 of them. We see lots of 8s and 7s for an overall rating of 7.3. Taking a look at the weight, it comes in at a 1.71, a pretty lightweight family game. But this game is definitely not for every family. It is brutal. It is mean. It is take-thatty. But it is a family favorite of ours because we love playing it. We love talking smack. We love eating little meeples with sea monsters and destroying boats. You do that. See what happens. Oh.
Yeah! It's on now. A boat. It's on now, sucker!
All right, let's move something. Let's move that whale and knock that boat.
Oh my gosh, you do that, I swear.
Shark! It's a shark! 1, 2. No. So if you're the type of gamer that can laugh at your own misfortune, Survive, Escape from Atlantis might be the game for you. Or if you prefer it in space, there's an in-space version now. See you next time.
So Thanksgiving is approaching, and Thanksgiving makes me think of family. There's a lot of different holidays that you can get together with family, but Thanksgiving is one that makes me think of mine because as a kid, my family always had a big Thanksgiving, and we invited lots of other people over. And I was telling my wife the other day, I don't know that in my life I've ever eaten a Thanksgiving dinner with just a few people. There's always been a big group, and this year a big group is coming. My wife's parents will be there. There's a possibility my dad will be there. Melody is coming home from college for Thanksgiving along with her boyfriend and her boyfriend's parents. So relatives all over the place. If you don't know from watching the Dice Tower videos, I am the father of 7 children, 6 daughters and a son. My oldest daughter is in college and my son is 5 and in kindergarten. It is quite the spread. And I don't ever pretend to be a great father. The only reason my kids are any good at all is because they have a magnificent mother. But it is interesting, we try to parent our kids as best as we can. And it's interesting when it comes to kids and board games. One thing that has mind-boggled my wife and me is we figured by kid 7, some of the stuff that we did with one of the kids would work with the others. And it's not that way. I have 7 children with 7 extremely unique personalities. Maybe some families have, brother and sister, and they're very, very similar. 2 sisters. That's not the way my family is. I mean, you probably can tell if you meet them, and you're a Vasel because of whatever reason. Now, when Melody was 2, I was playing some card games with her, and as we went through, she's a big board gamer. She can play all sorts of games that I might think are too much for me. Melody will like them and have a great time playing them. And, that's a fantastic thing, and we have that connection. It was one of our connections. My second oldest daughter, Amy, is not interested in board games at all. She will occasionally play a party game. My third daughter, Holly, she likes board games okay, but she really likes the puzzle-solving games. Like exit games and escape the room games. My fourth daughter, Clara, she just is happy to be there. She doesn't care if we're playing a game or not playing a game. It's the same to her. My fifth daughter, Violet, she loves, getting things done. She's thinking about game design. When she plays a game, she likes collectible games. She likes the theming, the Pokemon and all that. My sixth daughter is just excited and encourages the other kids to do well. Even if she herself loses, she doesn't get mad about that. Not something I could say for some of the other kids. And my son, well, he likes to rip games up. So I find this interesting because people ask me, your kids get to play games all the time. And I think board games is a great way to bring families together. But I want my kids to love games or not. I don't even care if they dislike games. When I married my wife, I found out that she did not like sweet tea, which I think is a little bit of anathema. The river of heaven is going to be sweet tea. Sweet tea is just amazing. And then I realized because she didn't like sweet tea that I could drink all of it when we put some in the refrigerator. But me and my wife have a lot of things in common, and that's great. Helps make a relationship strong. But we have things that not in common at all, and that's okay. I might like this kind of movie and she doesn't like it at all. And that's fine. I definitely have a sense of humor that she doesn't find funny at all. And because of that, it's good. We're unique people. My dad, and this is what brings me around in the family thing, was really big in sports. He liked baseball, liked football, liked basketball. I think sports are okay. From a statistical viewpoint, I'm like, that's intriguing. I like baseball, but I don't really care about much in that. But my dad never pushed sports on me. He tried to get me to play sports, and when I showed not a whole lot of interest in it, he said, well, you need to get some exercise. But he never said anything less to me because I didn't like sports. I like board games. My dad was not a big fan of board games. He played them with me occasionally. Not a huge fan, but he allowed me to do that, and I went off, and that was my thing. My daughters who like board games are not better than the ones who aren't. That's an obvious statement. I shouldn't even have to say that, right? But it is something that I think about a lot. I'm a geek, and some of my kids are more geeky than others. I tend to gravitate towards my geeky children because we can commiserate on how much we like the Marvel movies and this and that. But what I strive to do is find something for my kids that they do like. They don't like board games? That's fine. What do you like? Let's talk about that. I don't want to be the reverse, the jock dad who's like, you're going to play basketball. Dad, I don't want to play basketball. I don't want to be the opposite. You're going to play Agricola. Dad, I don't want to play Agricola. You know what I mean? It has that thing, and it's just something I think about, and I find it fascinating. I've gone from wanting to convert everybody to playing board games. When I first started, I was like, board game evangelical. I want the world to know the truth. Now, you can play board games or you can't. You'll have a great time either way. Board games are fantastic, and don't you dare say they're stupid. But at the same time, if you don't like them, that's okay. All my kids, on Thanksgiving, we're going to probably play a couple party games, and that's all right. And we might not play any games. We might just sit around and talk, and that's all right, too. I love them all to death. It's great to have a big family. I grew up in one. I have one myself. But even with my friends, I have friends who aren't interested in board games at all, and that's okay. And it's just something I thought about as we get closer to this, holiday season. And holiday season is like, oh, how are you going to convert your relatives into games? Nah, convert them or not, doesn't matter to me. I just want to have a good time. I'm glad I have them.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany
from Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews, and today we have a special guest, my brother Matt. Yay! We're going to be talking about Dead of Winter, but before we do, we're going to bridge the gap between health and board games. And recently, Matt has run a half marathon from not being a runner at the beginning of the year to finishing a half marathon. So, what's some advice or tips that you could give everybody about that?
Well, don't burn out. Just slow, gradual improvement and consistency. Don't push too hard, otherwise you'll quit.
Excellent advice.
Yeah, no kidding. So Dead of Winter is a kind of a zombie apocalypse game where you're all these different clans of people who have come together to survive the winter together as one big colony. So I really love the psychological thought that went into this game. All the decisions that you make in the game are decisions that you probably would have to make in a zombie apocalypse. You're gathering food for yourself and your little clan, but you're also helping that the whole colony survives. You may have traitor amongst your midst. You might have zombies attacking you, so you have to fight those off. Everything just kind of makes sense with that psychologically.
I really enjoy the crossroad cards in this game. There's just such an eager anticipation and like this stressful scariness that's going on, but it's super fun and I really enjoy that. And I think this game is also just oozing with theme, and I enjoy that in this game.
I really like the variability of the objectives. You got the primary objectives, which there are many. We've played the game a lot, and we haven't played the same objective twice. And you can choose between difficulties. And then also, there are a ton of individual objectives that you have to complete on top of that. So, just a lot of variability.
If you would like to hear all 3 of our full thoughts on that, go ahead and check out our full review.
We are Ryan and Bethany, Board Game Reviews. You can find us on YouTube and on Facebook.
All right, well, this is Ryan. I'm Bethany with guest brother Matt, encouraging you to play games, live healthy, and create moments.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Happy breakfast, everyone, and this week I'm going to talk to you about things at Essen. So I played recently at Tabletop Live, Deep Blue and Letter Jam. Deep Blue I was a little bit let down by, I'm not going to lie. I actually won the game by pretty much piggybacking on others and getting very lucky with the bag drawing aspect. But that still might be for you. The game does look very stunning, and the market sort of worked quite well in the way you can actually move around and dive. In terms of Letter Jam, I'm not normally a person that likes word games. Most of the time you're making maybe 4-5 letter words, and I'm good with that. Some people around the table were making longer words, but it's actually, you're working together, everyone's trying to be helpful, and, you know, when you've got a 4-5 letter word, that can actually be what triggers it for everyone to guess their letter. Much more enjoyment out of that one than I thought. Definitely give that one a go. Some games that I'm looking forward to, Iron Forest. Now I love Ice Cool 1 and 2, and this is effectively Ice Cool 1 with another box above it and holes that fall through. It looks fun. Definitely going to have to check that one out. Hopefully try and play it if it's available. That one just looks fun. And the other one that is kind of exciting is City Skyline. Now, the video game is kind of just stunning and amazing, and how that translates into cooperative city building, that's something relatively unseen. Most of those sort of games, you're building your own city, your own part of a city, so cooperatively doing it, that could be very interesting. Anyway, that's a few games for Essen. Hopefully I see some of you there and you get to play lots of games. If you're not there, play some games. It'll be like you're there, but without the horrendous crowds. Anyway, I'm Oliver East, signing out.
All right, that's another Board Game Breakfast in the books. Thank you guys for joining us for this. Hey, we appreciate you. We're going to be live several times this week. Z is going to be live very soon today playing a solo game, so you'll have a chance to watch him do that. And like I said, we're doing live top 10 lists, 2 of them this week. So it's all good. We're looking forward to that. As we gear up for Essen, we still got lots of things to do, so we'll see you through some of our videos this week. But until then, I'm Tom Vasel. Thanks for joining us. Have a fantastic day.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast.